So, as an example, it says it is the Creator who gave humanity the different hues and colors and languages. Okay? Now, we have a major issue of racism worldwide. What is the most effective solution for it?
Are you asking me?
If we look at it, not only you, we find that every country is legislating against it. And it's still not working. What is the potential solution to the potential removal of racism within the human psyche?
To be perfectly honest with you, I don't think that will ever be able to be 100% attained. There seems to be some sort of Neanderthal innate innate fear of the other that's just sort of bedrock in human beings.
I would suggest, I would kindly disagree with you. I'm going to take you back to something very controversial here. When the theory of evolution was posited, a demarcation line was created between the white races and the black.
Okay.
And there are books on evolution even now where there are images of showing the monkeys and the black people just immediately after. Right. A hierarchy was created and racism became endemic after that. But having said that...
Do you think that racism did not exist?
No. As I just said, having said that, it doesn't mean that that is where it all started. It was hundreds of... In fact, go back to the revelation of the Quran. The very idea that it mentioned it was because there was a problem then also. But the point I'm making is that, look, if there is a solution to this problem, to bring it to an absolute minimum, what is the solution? Now, consider this on a logical, reasonable footing.
Sure.
Yeah? Cordell, if I am told that the Creator of the universe is one, the Creator created human beings, the Creator gave us all our languages and colors.
Sure.
In obedience to the Creator, should I discriminate against you because of your color?
I wouldn't think so.
By definition, I would not do that if I'm in obedience, okay? Right. And if I know that that particular form of guidance is going to be for the benefit of humanity, then it is the right thing to do. Do we agree with that?
I agree that not being racist is the right thing to do. I'm not sure that you shouldn't be racist because a particular holy book ascribes that you shouldn't. You shouldn't because it is a value in and of itself.
Is it? Is it a value in and of itself?
It is my belief that it is.
Aha. Beliefs can be subjective.
Right.
Do we agree?
That is my argument from the gate.
On an objective basis, how can we do that?
I'm sorry?
On an objective basis, how can we... You see, because my position is this.
On an objective basis, how do we do what?
Remove or minimize racism.
I don't know, at least so I come from the United States. And obviously, the United States, our original sin was slavery. And so we have a very troubled racial past and present.
Yes.
But it, despite appearances over the last couple of years with the whole George Floyd thing, and everything else, racism is still endemic in my country, but it has gotten much better over the years. And from an anecdotal basis, it seems to be just the more human beings live amongst other human beings and realize that there's some differences, but also a lot of similarities, and that these people just they love their children. They want what's best for them the same way you do.
Excellent.
And you live as neighbors. And
excellent.
The more over time, gradually, that sort of thing seems to decline.
Yeah. Now, don't you agree that if it declines and declines and declines, it's sort of pointing to what should be the natural position?
Can you? I'm sorry, I forgot. What was your
in terms of
natural position again?
In terms of in terms of the racism we are talking about. Right. You just said that over time, as people exchange ideas, live together, we realize we are all pretty much the same. Yeah. Sure. So if we continue with that, and on that basis, would we not arrive at what would be considered to be the natural position, where all human beings, regardless of color, languages, etc., are treated equally?
Sure, but I still don't know where this provides any natural evidence for a divine.
Oh, very easy. You see, if you are going to call it the natural position, and the Quran is specifying what that natural position is.
The prerequisite for that is that the Quran is a canonical, literal truth.
Now, again, we are right back.
Which, you know, the trees and the stones and the earth and all good things, decline of racism, as wonderful as they may be and natural as they may be, is not a natural evidence of a God. It might be supposing that the Quran is true, but that is supposing. It is not.
Excellent point, Cordell. But now you've come right back to my initial point.
And that if not just Islam, that's
no, of course, I understand. Absolutely. But you do realize now you have come right back to my starting point about how the assessment of evidence should be primary. Right. Do we agree?
Sure.
Have you done that with these books?
We agree on that from two different perspectives. Mine would be more from the perspective that, albeit I learned from my from Western culture, and yours comes from a place of faith, and supposing that it's a natural process as determined by the God of Muhammad.
Actually, I will suggest something to you. I do not subscribe to the word faith, and I do not subscribe to the word belief, because both of them have a potential basis for subjectivity.
Sure.
I don't ascribe to that.
What would you call your philosophical
totally objective. Totally objective, and I'll tell you why. Like I said, when we talked about racism, we are talking about colors that are observable physically. We are talking about a mindset based on how we interact. Yeah? But the point I made at the start was, if you are not going to, on an objective basis, investigate the very thing that you are If I can just finish, Koda? No problem. No, not a problem. Yeah, I understand. Overzealousness. It's okay. But, like I said to you, if you are going to not consider the evidence and investigate it, on what basis are you dismissing it?
From my perspective, from a natural evidentiary basis, simply I will not ascribe to a philosophy in a 100% full throttle way, without seeing physical proof from it. So I reject the notion that that you can objectively say something is true without being able to show it to my face.
Are you suggesting to me that you are prepared to accept something without having investigated it?
As 100% true?
I didn't say 100%, you did.
I am not willing to accept it without further investigation.
The onus is not on him.
About what?
To investigate.
About
anything. It's if you're saying, how can you reject an idea or a philosophy without first investigating it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you said.
No, we had sorry, brother.
Yeah.
The standard we were discussing was on a general level.
Yeah.
So if on a general level, as I pointed out to my friend here, if we are going to get involved in something in which we have to try and find out, we will take the time and trouble to find out.
Right, yeah.
So on that basis, I said, now when you say the onus is not on X but on Y, the discussion is general.
Right. So you're not talking in any context whatsoever. It's just a general discussion about probity and
exactly.
Like that.
That is what we have been discussing from the start.
In relation to religion or anything like that.
No, we have been talking about Darwinism. We have been talking about the beginning of the universe.
Right.
We've been talking about religion. I don't subscribe to that word either. So it's general, and our exercise right now in conversation is to establish how we would be able to make any kind of claim without having firstly investigated whatever we are dismissing.
You can't prove a negative.
We've already had a conversation with that.
You can't prove a negative.
What is a negative?
Well, you know, it's like, just take religion, because it is a context in which you can discuss it. So I'm just using it as an example.
Go
okay? So I can't say that the tooth fairy doesn't exist. Right? Okay.
Sorry, my friend.
I made this same right. Okay.
Listen, sorry, brother. I'm Shabir. You are. What is your name?
Tells me that it doesn't.
Sorry, brother. What is your name?
Stuart.
Stuart.
I can't.
Cadell.
Yes.
I told you.
I don't remember your name.
Shabir.
Shabir.
Nice meeting you, sir. Cadell, did I not tell you that there is clearly a case of brainwashing here?
You told me.
You used.
I don't agree with you, but you said. You certainly postulated that argument.
I did, and I told you. You see how we are actually. This is a word. It's a strong word to apply here, but I'm so glad our friend here brought it up. But you know, when we talk about individuals being brainwashed, I'm using the word. It's a strong word. But the fact that coincidentally, now we have to look at your coincidences, that you use the example of a tooth fairy, and hey presto, a gentleman walks, gets into the conversation, and what does he use?
Yeah,
a tooth fairy.
It's a good example.
So, no, it's actually...
For me, the tooth fairy is as real.
No, you didn't say it was a good example.
For me, the tooth fairy is just fictional.
I'm
just in the same way that I think.
I disagree with you.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name, sir.
Stuart.
Stuart.
Yeah.
You see, as I told him, I will tell you. When you said the tooth fairy, it is not an correct example to use. Why? Because what you have done is relied on previous information.
What? Why?
Tooth is previous information. So you can't do that. Give me something that is original. In other words, I'm going to ask you a question here. There may be a contradiction in the question, then I'll rephrase it.
Okay.
Think of something you cannot think of.
That I can't think of.
You cannot think of.
How can you think of something?
I just said you will tell me no. Okay, I'll rephrase it. Think of something that does not exist.
God.
You can't say that because you are thinking of something. Yeah. Think of something that does not exist. Exactly. So can you see how semantics is here? But the tooth fairy example is not a relevant one.
Simply where we start.
Is as relevant as God.
Sorry, we'll come back to you. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Where we just start hitting the rocks philosophically here is that you believe that there is a manner in which we can come to something. That is brainwashing to try and look at it through the scientific process.
What I said, Cadell, is that over time our thinking process is switched. When On the Origin of Species was published, there was a clear demarcation line between what was considered to be godly and what was considered to be science. And over time, science has gained predominance. Yes. But like I said to you, the very word science is from scientia, meaning only knowledge. Why in the world have we come, if I can just finish, sorry. Yeah, why in the world have we come to a situation where everything that people are saying is all doctrinal, but from a scientific perspective? Yeah, so if I were to make the claim here that this is indoctrination, clearly the two individuals coincidentally use the tooth fairy as an example. Right. Yeah?
Do you think that science is indoctrination? Or am I misunderstanding?
You are misunderstanding. Because the conversation that we were having was missed by you. But basically, look, today I would say to you, if this conversation was taking place 500 years ago, which one would take precedence, the godly one or the science one?
500 years ago, and humans, there's to no fault of their own, because they didn't have the thing that you don't like, prior information. Humans were just not as evolved intellectually, then they were just dumber, for a lack of a better word, or more ignorant.
Right. Let me go with.
So we hit the rocks here because you say that the tooth fairy example is not a good example because it relies on prior information.
Excellent.
That's how humans usually come to more knowledge about any given variable or stimuli, is by looking at, by noticing something happening in life on Earth, and then you have that prior information now seeing that variable occur and go, oh, that exists, and then asking a question, why?
Yeah.
But
exactly. But Cordell, there's a major problem with your reasoning here, if I would suggest to you. 500 years ago, you are saying the humans were a bit dumber when it came to intellectual exercises, correct?
Right, they just didn't have as much knowledge
Are you familiar with Plato?
I'm sorry?
Are you familiar with Plato?
Yeah.
Aristotle?
Yeah, Socrates. Yeah.
When was that? 500 years ago?
Thousands of years ago.
What they said, are we still using today?
In many ways, yes.
So there was intelligence then, they weren't dumb.
No,
Do we agree? Okay. Now, the point I was making, though, Cordell, was not that.
But
the
there
point
are also things that even like Socrates or Plato or Aristotle,
which were incorrect.
Which were incorrect, or just like the germ theory of disease, they would have been completely ignorant of, just because they didn't have that.
Sorry, were you going to say something? Sorry, brother.
I'm just going to make a point of
Sure.
The availability of knowledge, not that they were ignorant.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you did qualify that.
I'm not saying ignorant as in like they're.
Please do.
No.
There are things like physics.
Sorry.
I was not a very good physics student. I am ignorant of string theory. The contents of it, any string theory club that would have me in it, I would not want to be a part of.
He's not comfortable.
Backwards, I'm just ignorant of the contents of string theory, just because I'm not very well educated on it. I don't have the information to be well educated.
That's the point, though, Cordell. You know what you just said, and I agree with the brother here. Okay, the point here that is trying to be made is that, look, if 500 years ago we're having this conversation, I am granting, based on the information available, I am granting that this conversation would not even be talking about the idea that there isn't a God. The majority of us would be talking in that context. Now, a shift of emphasis took place, and what I call the ascendancy of science, the way it is understood today, took over. And so, because it did, we are finding people coming out with the same kind of reasoning about the rejection of something which has not been investigated. So the tooth fairy comes into play again. So
I think
I'm sorry, sir.
You've been obtuse here. You've been obtuse.
I do apologize. Sorry.
I wonder if you have an argument for why God exists.
Oh, I've got thousands of reasons. But if the reasons...
We need one to believe, and I'm not a believer.
If the reasons are what we were discussing, are they...
I came in late.
Oh, I do apologize. Right. No, not a problem at all. Look, at the end of the day, I would say this much. As a human being, everything that I can conceive of, yes, has a reason. Whether you like it or not, whether you accept it or not, it has a reason. If I can, sorry, Cordell, can I just finish? Sure. Yeah? Our ability to reason, our ability to discern, our ability to try and establish why we exist is reason enough. But this requires an evidential perspective. You must seek out the answer if you are going to ask the question. The majority of us, unfortunately today, because we are unfortunately, and I say this, we are unfortunately stuck in this scientific pandemic. I'm not, if I can just finish. Sorry. If I can finish.
You're the one that's stuck. No, sorry.
With respect. Yeah, you see, if you are going to think like this, you will have a serious problem in trying to engage in conversation. You see, I am saying it very clearly that as an atheist, anyone who is an atheist has a primitive position in relation to knowledge. It's a primitive position to take. Now, that is a bold claim I'm making.
How dare you say that? I mean, how dare you? You can't stand up.
You are getting emotional, sorry. Yeah, like I said.
No, I'm sorry, you're going to have to finish.
Can I just finish?
No, just for a second and then I'll stop.
I'm so sorry, my friend is calling me. I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
Shabir.
Shabir?
It was a pleasure meeting you. Do forgive me if anything untoward was said.
No, not at all.
You look after yourself, okay? Thank you. Bye-bye.
It's not a primitive position. It's not a primitive position. Don't say that you're in a difficult position, you're in a primitive position. I think you're in a primitive position. Don't bandy about insults and then get upset and say you're getting emotional. Don't say people are holding a primitive position. This is the problem with the godly. They think they have a right to stand up and demean other people because they believe in something else. No, you don't, okay? I'm an atheist. I'm a very militant atheist, yeah? And I will not be silenced by people saying, don't get excited, don't get aggressive. No, don't hold us back. You're holding us back. Science is taking us forward. Science is taking us forward. It's giving us life. Yeah.
Are you finished?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Firstly, I said atheism is in a difficult position. I consider atheism to be a primitive position. Okay.
Fine.
Now you got, and rightfully so, because you are a militant atheist, as you said,
Yes.
so you got emotional about it.
Yes.
But ask yourself this question. You considered and equated the creator with the tooth fairy.
No, I said...
You did.
You did. I did.
You did.
I
now
did,
one second,
because it's
wait
as real to me as
a minute. So you see, you bandy about what can be considered to be offensive, but you don't see it.
No.
Now, I'm going to pull you back on that, okay? And I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name again. Stuart, yeah? Stuart, I do apologize, yeah? Stuart, you see, you are a militant atheist.
Yes.
Yeah? What is the definition of the word militant?
You know, militant, I'm bandying it about, you know.
Oh, no, don't say something and reverse back. No. Don't do that.
Militant means that I'm not prepared to sit back and let the godly dominate conversations like this and to pigeonhole us. We are the most persecuted minority in the world, atheists. Okay?
You really are?
I think we are.
Yeah. Are you persecuted, my friend?
I think we are. You don't see us getting offered. You don't see us getting offered.
I'm
places
sorry.
in the House of Lords,
Sorry,
do you?
Stuart. Give us
Why-
1
why
second.
should we have
Look,
bishops in the House
Stuart,
of
1
Lords?
second. We'll have a drink together, coffee and tea.
I actually have been persecuted in South Carolina and the U.S. where I came from.
Is that the Bible Belt?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
And where people like me are not allowed to run for public office because we're an atheist. But that's persecution. But in terms of belief,
Does the Constitution allow that?
not the U.S. Constitution.
Then, but the state constitution
yes.
does, and it is infringing.
I fought that in the Supreme Court, and I
And did you
won.
win?
Yes.
There's nothing to worry about then, is
No,
there?
I'm not worried.
Okay,
But
good.
I do just want to say, in terms of belief, I am an atheist. I wouldn't call myself a militant atheist, but there's
Yeah.
certain things that I don't know. One thing I don't know is where we came from. My best guess is stardust is what brought us here from science.
Yeah.
But an atheist is somebody, to in my mind, without a belief in any God.
Yes, I
I
understand.
can't prove anything one way or another.
Yeah.
And I'm asking, if you are
Yes,
a
I will
believer,
tell
what
you.
kind of proof do
Right.
you have?
I will tell you. Like I said to you earlier on, when we talk about the domain of the Creator, our logic and our reason should make us understand that by definition, that is a superior entity. By definition.
You can't,
You look after yourself.
Thanks,
Apologies if it came
No,
across as
it's fine,
offensive,
it's
not
fine.
intended.
you
Bye-bye.
can't define God into existence, though.
No, I'm not saying that. If you think, I'm sorry, what is your name, sir?
Herb.
Herb. I like that name. Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo. That was a good movie, that was. Yeah, but you see, I'm feeling uncomfortable calling you Herb because you're older than me. But I do
Call me
apologize,
whatever you want, I don't
No,
care.
sir. Yeah? You see, I would ask you this. If we come to the logical conclusion, and that is the only conclusion we can come to, that if there is a creator, by definition, that creator will be superior to us. By definition. Yeah? And if that be the case, then logic further will dictate that it is the creator that will inform us of what our position is in relation to the creator. I do apologize about that. Yeah? But if that be the case, then the question has to arise that if, as you rightly pointed out, the information that we possess today is indicating that our bodies are made up of everything, stardust, you call it, yes? But that does not define life. We know today, despite all our advances, a strict definition of what constitutes life still is not present. The way I use it, you asking for an example, sir, Herb, yeah? If there's a dead person next to me, and I'm standing next to the dead body, in terms of the atoms and the constitution physical, are we the same?
No.
What's the difference?
You're alive that person is dead and there's no afterlife
But
for that person.
no. I said to you, that's an afterthought. The afterlife is an afterthought. But at this point in time, I said on a physical level, the physical constitution, the atoms, and everything else, the cells, yes? Between this dead body and me, what's the difference?
That dead body turns to dust.
No. Again, if I ask you, again, in terms of the physical makeup, we are made up of stardust, you said. Yeah, but let's consider it to be atoms,
Yes,
etc. Yeah, we are a combination of atoms.
Right.
Some of us have coincidentally had the atoms gathered together in such a way that we are so handsome. Now, I'm not saying that about myself, by the way. I'm just making a point, yeah? But the issue is, between this dead body and me, if the physical constitution of atoms is the same, what's the difference?
Well, you're getting off my point.
Not at all. I want you to answer it, and we will get to it.
Creator.
Absolutely, I am.
Yes, but what's your evidence for a
Here,
creator?
look, when we talk about evidence, we have to introduce it and then discuss the evidence. I'm asking you, sir, Herb, the dead body is constituted of atoms. The living body is constituted of atoms. What's the difference between the two?
Well, one has life and can think and...
What is life?
Tell me the point you're trying to make.
I'll tell you
about
what the
that.
point I'm making to you is, if the Creator has informed...
You're saying if the creator...
I'm using the word if.
You're
Otherwise,
saying-
I can say the Creator has informed us this. Would you accept it?
I don't accept
You
the
don't, exactly.
creator.
That's why I said if the Creator. You see, there's a clear logic behind this, sir.
Okay, if
Yeah.
the creator...
First question, if I may ask, do you possess a Quran?
A Quran?
Do you have one?
No.
Muhammad, have we got one? A Quran? Quran. Please, can you get one? I want to give a present to Sir Herb. Yeah? You see, Herb, I will say something to you. Can I just ask you, what did you do in your working life?
I was a mathematician.
Of all the people, a mathematician. Excellent. As a mathematician, do you see order in the universe?
I see some order, some disorder.
Where do you see the disorder?
Well, we don't understand a lot of it with black holes and all.
Super. Oh, thank you. But the disorder is not, it's disordered, it's because we are not aware of the information as yet. But for the information that you have possessed in your possession right now, she's a lovely lady, she looks like my grandma. She's hidden behind you. Yeah? No, the lady. Don't get confused. Yeah. Yeah. So the question is, from the mathematics and the universe that you are aware of, everything is ordered.
No, we don't know. There are thousands of galaxies out there.
Absolutely. Yes.
And there are problems with this universe too. So I wouldn't say the universe is ordered.
What I am suggesting to you, I would not even say the same thing, that the whole of the universe. But what I am saying to you is, so far, your life in mathematics has shown to you that there is order on a mathematical scale.
Now, as a mathematician, we start with certain axioms
absolutely.
that we accept, and then we use logic to build theorems from that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It has nothing to do with order. It's just we accept certain axioms as true. They may not be true, but that's our starting point.
It's the starting point, correct.
What's your axioms that you're starting with?
I just told you, and that's what I was going to give you. You see, for me to start off the journey, for any discovery, I have to have the axioms. I have to have the starting point, okay? Now, if I am of clearly the opinion, and logic is leading me to that conclusion, that if there is a creator, by definition, it is the creator that will inform the creation of what the relationship ought to be, and why we are here.
Is your axiom that there is a creator?
Now you see, if I say yes, it's from a subjective perspective. I'd rather we keep it objective. And on that basis...
What's your axiom?
I will give you this, sir, as a present. My email address is there. I am going to say, because you are a mathematician, I am 100% confident that once you have read this, you will accept the existence of a creator, and you will also know why we are here. And the email is there, so if you
know what your axiom that you're starting with.
I started off with the question about why I am here.
That's
and on
not an axiom.
No, it isn't. It isn't. No, but look, if I say to you, yeah, when you use mathematical axioms, you are starting from a given position or an intended position. Which one?
Well, that's a given. I'm starting with, even though I know it may not be true.
I'm starting with a given position. There is a creator.
Okay, so that's your axiom.
Yes.
And for people who don't accept your axiom, even if your logic is good after that,
yeah,
it's not
absolutely. And that is why I am giving you something that is independent of us
and you
too.
think that will make me accept a creator?
Not I think.
Axiom.
If you are a mathematician, and you are, I can guarantee you will accept. And you know why? Not only that, sir, I know that as a mathematician, your logical processes will already be ready to accept it.
I've read parts of it, and
I want you to read the whole of it.
I've read the whole Bible.
Excellent. Now read the whole of the Quran. And I can promise you, my email address is there. I'm Shabir. Right. By all means, come back to me. Okay. It was a pleasure, sir. You look after yourself.
You too.
Lovely lady, look after yourself. God bless.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Vegard and I'm a Norwegian Muslim convert. I cannot express how grateful I am for Allah to have guided me to Islam. In my country, there are no Islamic schools or dawah centers that fully operate in my language. A lot of the Islamic programs here are in Urdu, Arabic and Somali, and I don't understand these languages. We new Muslims need a place where we really can learn Islam. Alhamdulillah, Allah guided me to the dawah organization IslamNet, who helped me stay firm in my religion. We are now raising funds to establish a Norwegian masjid and dawah center that will educate our people about Islam in the Norwegian language. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever builds a masjid for Allah, Allah will build for him a similar house in Jannah. If you take part in this project, you will inshallah be rewarded for all the new Muslims who learn about Islam and all of the Muslims who learn to give dawah, and every single person who accepts Islam through this center. This will inshallah be an endless ongoing charity for you. And let's not forget, Allah will inshallah build for you a palace in Jannah. As a Norwegian Muslim, Norway is my country, and dawah to these people is my responsibility. And you are my family. Please donate for the sake of Allah and build for yourself a house in Jannah. And whatever you give, Allah will give you more in return. And please click on the share button so you can get the reward of everyone who follows you in donating for this masjid. May Allah reward you.